You begin by looking up. The air is cool, the sky stretched wide above you, velvet and vast. Stars hang in soft silence, glimmering with a quiet patience, as if they have always been there, waiting for your eyes to find them. The more you look, the more the sky deepens. Some of this light left its source long before the first forests grew on Earth, before the oceans teemed with life, before you or anything you know existed. You are seeing echoes of the past, quiet time travel stitched into the night. Points of light, some near, some unimaginably far each, holding a story you cannot yet know. The quiet around you deepens, and in this gentle stillness, you begin to feel the shape of a question, one that has lived in human hearts for as long as eyes have gazed upward, each generation lifting its gaze, each generation breathing the same question into the night. The sky that once seemed endless is now known to hold more stars than grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. With gentle instruments, with careful eyes, they have begun to find them, exoplanets, worlds beyond our solar system. Planets not imagined, but real. Some are rocky, like Earth, nestled close to their stars or drifting far in cold space. Some orbit twin suns, some may have oceans, clouds, winds. Some are still only shadows, their presence known by the way they tug or dim the light of their stars. And around many of these stars, planets spin, some large, some small, some bathed in light, some frozen in darkness. Another being standing under their own patch of darkness, looking upward, wondering the same. But the spaces between them, those vast stretches where new worlds may quietly circle their distant suns. Are we alone? You are both very small and immeasurably vast, part of the universe looking back upon itself. You feel the weight of distance, yet no heaviness. You drift in thought to one small point of light, a sun much like our own, with planets of its own. Could one of them cradle life? Could one of them hold seas that rise and fall, winds that carry scent, creatures who wonder, who listen? About the way curiosity is woven into what it means to be alive. The stars remind you that you are part of something vast and ongoing. That you, like the light from distant suns, carry stories, possibilities, and questions. Only a gentle wonder. The question itself is enough, the way it expands the edges of your mind. The way it opens a quiet space inside you where wonder can rest. You can almost feel yourself drifting beyond the atmosphere, beyond the moon, out past the planets, into the wide dark ocean of space, and still the question drifts with you. Are we alone? You breathe slowly. The night is still, each breath softening the edges of thought. The stars do not rush, neither do you. You let your thoughts drift upward, floating alongside the silver glow of ancient suns. Your heart settles. Your breath steadies. For thousands of years, people have looked at these same stars, weaving stories into their patterns, imagining distant worlds beyond the reach of sight. The question stirs softly, not urgently. There is no hurry here, only the patient pull of curiosity. You are not the first to wonder this. In the calm darkness, you can almost hear the echoes of those who came before, ancient astronomers, philosophers, poets. You close your eyes and imagine, somewhere, far beyond the stars you see, could there be another sky? You let the thought drift, untethered. The mind is free here. Free to imagine not just stars, and there are so many suns. So many more than once believed. You are not alone in wondering. Scientists, too, have joined this ancient search, guided not by myth, but by the soft, steady light of evidence. Some exoplanets are vast, giants of gas swirling with storms. You breathe in the quiet vastness. Every discovery is a step, a soft footfall along the path of a question that has no final answer, only deeper wanderings. The stars above you shine on, light years away, yet present to your eyes. It is not something you need to solve tonight. The gentle search for life beyond Earth is not only about telescopes or signals. It is about longing. In this moment, beneath the sky, you're stardust looking back at the stars. Time softens. The edges of the world blur. You breathe again deeply. The air is cool, the night soft. And somewhere in the dark beyond the stars, the next chapter of this journey awaits. Perhaps the quiet pull of a distant planet waiting to be seen. You drift, weightless, effortless, as if the universe itself cradles you in the curve of its palm. Around you, there is darkness, but not the darkness of emptiness. This is a darkness filled with light. Each tiny point of light that surrounds you is a star, a sun. Somewhere out there, planets circle these distant flames, tracing invisible paths you cannot see. Some worlds may be barren and silent. Others may hold oceans, winds, mountains, clouds, and some perhaps may cradle life. A sea of suns stretches in every direction, stars scattered like golden seeds across an infinite field. No urgency. Just the slow turning of space itself, the quiet unfolding of time. Each galaxy is its own vast sea of suns, some holding hundreds of billions of stars. Some of the stars you see no longer shine. Their light is the memory of what was. In this way, the night sky is a kind of time machine. Every point of light is both distance and history. And you begin to feel the shape of something immense, a universe not of one sun, not of one home, but of countless possibilities. Even if most stars shine alone, even if most worlds are quiet, the possibility remains. Somewhere, life may have found another foothold. Somewhere, under another sun, someone might also look up and wonder, of worlds upon worlds upon worlds. You imagine standing on one of those distant planets, the ground beneath your feet unfamiliar, the sky above filled with moons, or twin suns, or clouds shaped by winds you have never felt. Would time feel the same there? Would breath still catch at the beauty of a sunrise? Galaxies merge and dance over cosmic timescales. Nebulas glow with the birth of new stars. Somewhere, even now, fresh suns are kindling into life, their light yet to reach your eyes. In the stillness, you feel the gentle pulse of curiosity rise within you, the warmth of light, the call of curiosity, the quiet pull of gravity, holding everything gently in place. With creatures that wake and sleep, that look up at their own night sky and wonder in return. For a moment, you let yourself float, suspended in the vastness. You are made of the same atoms born in these ancient stars. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, each was forged in the heart of a sun long ago. Stardust is not a metaphor, it is your history. From this far out, your sun is just one more glimmer among billions. A single light in the vast deep. Yet around that small, ordinary star, a planet blooms with life. If you could count each star, naming them one by one, it would take you longer than the age of the earth itself. Could there be other eyes, other hearts, sharing this same quiet wonder? Longer than the rise and fall of every civilization combined. The universe holds more stars than there are grains of sand on every beach of your world. A planet filled with oceans and forests, laughter and memory. You breathe slowly. There is no rush here. You think of your own sun, the star that warms the skin of your face, that paints your world in color, that anchors your seasons and your days. So you wonder, what if? What if among these endless stars, there are other worlds with skies of their own? The thought drifts through you, soft as breath. The scale of it all is almost impossible to hold. You float deeper, further. The stars gather into rivers, into great glowing cities of light galaxies, spitting silently through the dark. The ancient light from these stars travels for millions, even billions, of years to reach you. And yet there is comfort here, the sheer abundance of it. You close your eyes. For all the strangeness of such places, some things may remain constant. Your mind drifts again, now tracing not just single stars, but entire cluster swarms of suns bound together by invisible threads. And in this immense quiet, you feel something gentle and true. You belong to this story. The stars around you are not distant after all. They are family, they are memory, they are home. And so you float, calm and unhurried, in this sea of suns. Your thoughts ripple outward, slow and soft. If so many stars exist, could there be others looking back across the dark? The thought lingers, tender and open, as you drift gently toward the next question: what makes one world come alive while another remains silent? In the quiet of the night, you float weightless, your mind adrift far above the earth. All around you, the sky stretches endlessly, a sea of darkness pierced by the steady glow of distant stars. It is the kind of change you could miss in the blink of an eye, and yet it carries a secret, a message whispered across light years. Each one shines like a small, steady lantern, casting its ancient light across unimaginable distances. You let yourself drift gently here, among these cosmic beacons, feeling the hush of space wrap around you like a soft blanket. To your eyes, it is like noticing the softest sigh in the middle of a breeze. But to those who study the stars, it is a sign that somewhere, in the vast ocean of space, a planet is circling a distant sun. It is a magic born of patience, of stillness, of careful attention. How can a shadow tell a story? The answer lies in the light itself. As the planet glides between its star and us, the light changes color in the most delicate ways, like sunlight through stained glass. Even these minute variations can be measured, revealing secrets too small for human eyes to see, but large enough for sensitive instruments to record. These distant planets, hidden yet revealed, speak to something universal: the desire to look beyond, to seek, to imagine what lies unseen. In each flicker of starlight, in each silhouette, there is an invitation to dream, to listen, to wait for what may come. To find another planet is to find another place where time passes, where light falls, where perhaps life could emerge. The stars continue their steady glow. The planets continue their silent paths. For now, you rest within the rhythm of light and shadow, letting the questions linger, soft and unanswered. And somewhere, in the stillness of distant skies, a new shadow begins to form. It reminds you that the universe is not silent, not empty, but filled with possibilities, each one waiting patiently to be seen. As some of the starlight filters through the atmosphere of a passing planet, it carries with it tiny clues, whispers of gases, of clouds, of possible oceans, or perhaps endless deserts or icy plains stretching to a distant horizon. Each world holds its own story, waiting in the shadows. A quiet tug pulling you softly onward toward the next chapter of this endless journey. Some are large and easy to spot. Others are small, their presence revealed only after patient watching. But all of them, every one casts its shadow, speaks its silent message, and joins the quiet chorus of worlds beyond our own. By studying these subtle changes, scientists can learn what the air of these distant worlds is made of, whether it carries water vapor, or methane, or something utterly unknown. Night after night, astronomers gather light, adding each tiny signal to the next, building a story from shadows. And through this slow work, hundreds, even thousands of exoplanets have been revealed, each one casting its own faint silhouette across the cosmos. The stars above you seem timeless. Yet, as you watch carefully, you notice something almost imperceptible, a soft dimming, the gentlest flicker. Somewhere far away, a planet is passing in front of its star. Just for a moment, its tiny presence blocks a fraction of the star's light. The star dips in brightness, subtly, quietly, like the passing shadow of a bird across the face of the sun. Each time a planet passes in front of its star, it leaves this subtle calling card, a rhythmic dip, a quiet wink of light. The more times the planet passes, the clearer the pattern becomes, like footsteps in the sand repeating with each tide. This is no ordinary shadow. It is the silhouette of a distant world, briefly etched in the starlight. Astronomers on Earth watch for these gentle dimmings. They use delicate instruments to catch the faintest decrease in brightness, sometimes just 1 part in 10,000. This method, called the transit method, is one of the most powerful ways we discover exoplanets, worlds beyond our solar system. You drift closer in your mind, imagining one of these distant worlds. Perhaps it is a planet not so different from Earth, with clouds and oceans and gentle winds. Or perhaps it is an entirely alien place, its skies tinted green, its surface veiled in storms. The shadow it casts tells us only that it is there. The details remain hidden, wrapped in darkness. But the rhythm of its passage, the certainty of its orbit brings it softly into focus, like the edges of a dream. To sense something so far away, something invisible to our eyes, is a quiet kind of magic. You might wonder how we can know more than just the presence of these planets. Imagine the light passing through the thin edge of a planet's atmosphere, and so a dance of light and shadow unfolds across the universe. Some planets pass quickly. Others take years to complete a single orbit. As you drift among these thoughts, you begin to feel something gentle rise within you, a soft wonder, a peaceful curiosity. Your mind drifts further, imagining standing on one of those faraway planets, looking back toward the small sun it circles. Would there be clouds, oceans, forests? The search for exoplanets is not just about discovery, it is also about connection. You close your eyes now, breathing slowly, resting in the quiet knowing that you are part of this vast exploration, part of this gentle unfolding of light and dark. Perhaps tomorrow, or in some distant future, that shadow will tell us more, will carry the quiet story of life, of motion, of change. And as your thoughts drift, you feel the gentle pull of another mystery rising, the gravity that shapes not only planets and stars, but time itself. A quiet tug pulling you softly onward toward the next chapter of this endless journey. You close your eyes and drift, weightless in the endless dark between stars. All around you, the universe stretches in quiet stillness. A soft ring around a star where warmth is balanced with coolness, where the conditions are just right for liquid water to exist. And where there is liquid water, there just might be life. And then far ahead you see it, a faint golden glow. Not too bright, not too dim, not too hot, not too cold. Just right. You imagine the delicate balance required to hold this zone in place. A star shines steadily, its heat flowing outward in invisible waves, encircling it at just the right distance. A world might be waiting. A planet, perhaps, kissed by the soft light of its sun, held gently between freezing darkness and blazing heat. A world must have enough time to change, to grow, to breathe. Time for oceans to form, time for air to gather, time for life to begin, perhaps in the quiet cradle of water. Perhaps far away, oceans shimmer under alien suns. The light is gentle, the air soft. Maybe the oceans move in silver tides. Maybe the sky is streaked with strange colors. You imagine stepping barefoot on warm ground, breathing air shaped by a distant sun. Perhaps winds blow across unfamiliar mountains, carrying seeds, carrying stories, carrying something alive. Or would it be utterly different creatures built of other chemistries, other dreams? A whisper that says, something is here, something is moving, something is possible. You feel the gentle thrill of unknowing, and you let it settle over you like a soft blanket. With a steady breath of curiosity, each new discovery adds a brushstroke to the picture, a picture that grows wider, softer, more beautiful with every passing year. Around these stars, the habitable zone huddles close. You hold the idea softly in your mind that somewhere out there, in the quiet orbit around a distant star, there may be other oceans, other breezes, other eyes looking up. Could it also find a way in the cold and the dark, in places far stranger than we ever imagined? And yet, somehow, you feel a part of it. You belong to this vastness. You are made of the same stardust, warmed by the same gentle light. The thought is soothing, like counting stars before sleep. Astronomers believe there are billions of stars with planets, and many of those planets may orbit within their habitable zones. A way of thinking about balance, about harmony. You can carry it with you, even here on Earth. You find yourself thinking of the quiet balances all around you, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the cool breath of evening air, the rhythm of your heart. So much of life unfolds in the gentle space between extremes. Planets that might support life must orbit tightly, their years short, their skies painted by a cooler, gentler star. You imagine the tools that help astronomers find these far-off worlds, telescopes that measure the dimming of distant stars, instruments that sense the tiny wobbles of planets unseen. Through careful watching, through patient listening, these signs slowly reveal themselves. This is the place astronomers call the habitable zone, but you may think of it more gently as the Goldilocks glow. The thought brings a calm curiosity to your heart. You let yourself drift closer. In this calm balance, life as you know it can unfold. You pause here in the quiet glow of possibility. You think about Earth, your own home. Earth, too, orbits within a habitable zone. It sits at just the right distance from the sun, bathed in light that nurtures oceans, forests, and breath. If Earth had been only slightly closer to the sun, its oceans might have boiled away. If it had been just a little farther, they might have frozen over. But here we are, in the gentle in-between. This is the Goldilocks idea. Not too much, not too little. But not every star is like our sun. Some stars are small and dim, glowing softly with a reddish light. Other stars blaze fiercely, hot and blue and enormous. Their habitable zones are much farther out. Planets in these distant circles must journey widely around their brilliant suns. But there is a problem here too. These massive stars live fast and die young, burning out before life might have time to rise. So the Goldilocks glow is not only about distance, it is also about time. And then you wonder, how many such places might there be? How many golden rings around stars, scattered across the galaxy? Perhaps even now, light from one of those worlds is reaching your sky. In your mind's eye, you drift down to the surface of such a world, and you wonder, what would life be like here? Would it look anything like life on Earth? The Goldilocks glow is not only a place, it is an idea. You float a little farther through the darkness. Each flicker of light, each subtle shift, is like a whisper from across the cosmos. And so we search, not with urgency, but with calm wonder. You think of the countless worlds you will never see, the countless stories that may unfold without us. In this moment, you rest in the Goldilocks glow. You feel the calm of it settle over you, the gentle rhythm of orbits, the steady glow of stars, the tender spaces where life may rise. And as you drift deeper into stillness, your thoughts begin to wander. If life can bloom here in golden warmth, could it also find a way in the cold, in the dark, in places far stranger than we ever imagined? Imagine yourself floating far beyond your familiar sky, beyond the golden warmth of the sun, beyond the planets you know by name. Out here, the darkness stretches in every direction, stitched with the faint silver threads of distant stars. Some are gas giants so vast they could swallow our entire solar system. Others are small and rocky, perhaps not so different from Earth. Some circle their stars in a matter of hours, rushing through searing days and freezing nights. Others trace paths so slow and distant that their years stretch longer than any human lifetime. Thick, endless clouds swirl in layers upon layers, hiding whatever lies beneath. One side faces its star always, burned in endless daylight. The other remains forever night, a land of cold and shadow. Between them, a narrow band, an eternal sunrise, circling the globe like a glowing ribbon. There are planets made of diamond, planets with iron rain, planets that may float on layers of exotic ice or swim in oceans of liquid gas. Some reflect their stars with glimmering brightness. Others are so dark they swallow the light almost entirely. And yet, in a quiet way, you are part of their story. And for every planet we know, there are countless others waiting, unseen, untouched, unimagined. You drift among possibilities, each one a quiet door to somewhere new. Your mind reaches them, your curiosity gives them shape. The light that left their stars, that passed by their skies, now meets your eyes, across impossible distances, across oceans of space and time. Some orbit alone, far from any sun, cold and silent as they wander through interstellar night. These rogue planets drift without anchor, without warmth, carrying their own stories in endless solitude. And somewhere, there may be planets that feel just faintly like home. Here, perhaps, strange winds blow constantly from day into night, carrying heat and chill in a never-ending loop. You imagine standing in that twilight, two skies at once, one bright, one dark, both ancient. What makes a world alive? What makes a place home? Light from its star filters through only dimly, turning the entire planet into a twilight sphere, glowing gently in shades of rose and amber. Storms turn slowly here, giant whirlpools larger than Earth itself, churning softly over centuries. From your distance, the planet looks like a painted marble, a soft swirl of pinks and creams. You float beside it, and for a moment, it feels almost familiar. You drift softly, weightless, as though carried by a gentle tide. And ahead of you opens a gallery of worlds, strange, shimmering, silent worlds, each unlike anything Earth has ever known. Astronomers discover them through the softest dimming of starlight, through tiny gravitational tugs, through light split into color and curve. Many are only whispers, their details still unknown, but even whispers tell stories. These are exoplanets, planets orbiting other suns. Thousands upon thousands discovered, millions upon millions imagined. Around these gentle stars, some planets lie in zones not too hot, not too cold. The so-called Goldilocks zones where perhaps liquid water could exist, where life in some form might quietly thrive. Yet even here, these worlds often differ wildly from Earth, tidally locked, bathed in flares, or shrouded in deep, heavy air. You drift toward a world of fire. Below, you stretch as a planet where the atmosphere is thick with metallic clouds, iron and silicates swirling in a furnace of unimaginable heat. On this world, winds scream at thousands of kilometers per hour, carrying droplets of molten glass that slash sideways through the air. Yet from up here, there is peace. The storms rage silently below, but you float above them, watching the restless glow of a planet forever on fire. Now you move gently on. Another planet appears, this one deep blue, so dark it almost vanishes into the black of space. It gleams like polished sapphire, but this is no ocean world. The blue comes from high, hazy clouds laced with sodium and silicates, reflecting the light of its star and midnight hues. Winds whip across it at supersonic speeds, fast enough to carry entire continents in mere hours, if continents could exist here. It is beautiful, but alien, a silent jewel adrift in the dark. The current carries you to a place of ice. A planet gleams with a sheen of frost, its surface locked in eternal winter. Its stars far away, a faint ember in its frozen sky. Temperatures here fall to depths colder than any place on Earth. Atmospheres of hydrogen and helium drift over frozen seas of methane and ammonia. Yet even here, where no warmth touches the ground, there is still movement. Ice cracks, winds murmur softly across endless plains. The stillness is not absolute. Even in cold, there is quiet life. You pass by a world of clouds. Further along, you glimpse a planet locked in perpetual twilight. Each of these worlds, these planets of ice, fire, clouds, and shadow is real, or could be real. Some of these planets orbit stars smaller and cooler than our own, red dwarfs, soft embers in the dark. The variety of planets is endless. Some carry skies of violet, others of copper or ash gray. Some breathe methane, others hydrogen. As you drift among these distant worlds, you notice how softly they shine. You take a breath, you let it out slowly. None of these worlds have felt your footsteps. None have heard the sound of your voice. The universe holds more planets than there are grains of sand on all the beaches of Earth. And as you float onward, letting these worlds fade softly behind you, your thoughts begin to turn, not just to planets and stars, but to the fragile miracle of life itself. You breathe in gently and follow that question forward into the next horizon. You drift once more through the endless dark, through the quiet ocean of space, where the stars shine like distant candles. Around you, all is still. You let yourself float, unhurried, weightless, and quiet, above, below, all around the endless night. And yet, in this darkness, there is something more, something soft and shimmering, something ancient and tireless, light. Light is the messenger of the universe. It travels for years, for centuries, for billions of years across the vastness of space, carrying with it silent stories of distant worlds, of newborn stars, of places too far for any ship to reach. You imagine yourself as one of these travelers, one slender beam of light, moving forward, always forward, at the fastest speed nature allows. When that light bounces back, some of it escapes into the endless dark, traveling across impossible distances until, by quiet chance, it reaches the mirrors and lenses of a telescope on Earth. The light from this world is not loud. It does not shout its secrets. It whispers, it hints. It scatters its clues across the fabric of the spectrum. There, human eyes patient, curious search for the fingerprints of something familiar, your light. You move through the velvet dark, across endless emptiness. Now, with eyes that split light and hearts that listen, we begin to hear the stories told in the spaces between colors. That every sunrise is the arrival of photons that left the sun 8 minutes ago. That the stars above are not as they are now, but as they were years or centuries or eons ago. Light lets you look back in time, gently. Even your own body, in its soft warmth, glows faintly in infrared light your eyes cannot see, but which is always there. We search for the music hidden in the rainbows, the words inside the glow. In the coldness of space, astronomers use infrared eyes to see the hidden warmth of planets, of dust clouds, of galaxies half-formed in the early universe. We know which stars are young, which are old. We can taste the air of exoplanets by the faintest traces left in light. We can even see the gentle tug of gravity bending starlight in the presence of massive objects. You pass the cold stone of planets, the golden fires of suns, the soft curves of gas clouds. That the universe is always speaking, in colors, in shadows, in glows too faint to see. And with every place you pass, you carry something, the mark of the journey itself. The way the light stretches, the way it bends, the way it glows, these are the secret letters of the language of light. Astronomers, those quiet watchers of the night, have learned to read this language. That ancient glow still washes over the earth every moment, quiet and faint but never gone. They call it spectroscopy, the study of how light stretches and separates, how it tells stories without words. These lines are like fingerprints, unique to each kind of atom and molecule. A star rich in hydrogen leaves one pattern. A planet with clouds of methane leaves another. The universe speaks through these tiny, quiet marks. They look at starlight through delicate instruments that split it apart, like sunlight through a crystal prism. What looks white and pure from a distance unravels into a ribbon of color reds, oranges, yellows, greens, blues, indigos, violets. A hidden rainbow, always there but not always seen. But there is more. If you look closely enough to see not just the colors but the gaps between them, you find dark lines running through the rainbow. And so you float beside the light, watching it unfold. Each beam of starlight tells you about the star's warmth, its age, its motion. Each gentle shadow across the spectrum tells you about the air of an unseen world: water vapor, carbon dioxide, even the breath of life. Somewhere, on a planet circling a distant sun, light shines down on oceans or deserts, on forests or ice fields. You close your eyes and imagine a planet not so different from Earth, with sky and sea, with winds that shape its land, with perhaps creatures unknown. You breathe in slowly, feeling the gentleness of this thought, that even in the vastness, even in the silence, something as small and simple as a beam of light can carry meaning. In the early days, before humans knew the language of light, the stars were only dots on a dark canvas. Everywhere you look, light is at work. The glow of a candle, the gold of a sunrise, the silver gleam of the moon. Light not only reveals, it remembers. The oldest light we know, the cosmic microwave background, has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years, since the universe was only a baby. You rest here in the thought that everything you see is light's patient journey, and with that light, we search. We search for colors that mean oxygen, for shadows that mean oceans, for whispers that hint at life. You breathe again, slowly, as you imagine that somewhere, perhaps close, perhaps far, there may be another eye, another mind, looking back at our tiny Earth, reading the language of light we send into the dark. For in the end, everything we know of the universe comes to us on light's soft footsteps. And somewhere, beyond the glow, beyond the gentle shimmer, the journey of light gives way to another mystery, the silent pull of gravity, the way space itself bends and curves, leading you toward the next horizon of wonder. Above you, the sky stretches, dark and deep, holding the soft glow of countless stars. Tonight your thoughts drift far beyond them, out across distances so vast the mind can scarcely hold them. You are searching for something gentle and familiar, another Earth, another home beneath an alien sky. You imagine it quietly, as if glimpsed in a dream, a world circling a distant sun, bathed in the soft light of its own gentle dawn. Perhaps it is close enough to its star to feel warmth, but not so close as to burn. Perhaps it spins slowly, its days and nights stretching long and golden. They listen to the faint whispers of distant atmospheres, searching for the breath of something living. Light from these distant worlds takes years, sometimes centuries, to reach us. The stars, the planets, the galaxies, they move on timescales so long that a single human life is like the blink of an eye. And so, in this search for another Earth, patience is woven into every step. There is no rush, only wonder. Each discovery is a brushstroke on the canvas of possibility, soft and slow. Perhaps creatures there lift their faces to constellations that look nothing like ours. Telescopes reach farther, measurements grow more precise, but always the heart of the search remains the same, to find connection in the vastness. Somewhere, perhaps, a second Earth turns beneath an alien sun, unseen but not forgotten. And somewhere else, closer than you think, new questions begin to rise. To find the familiar in the unknown. Or perhaps it is silent, still, a waiting world of rocks and wind, dreaming of life to come. Scientists call this place the habitable zone, the gentle space where liquid water could flow, where life, as we know it, might take root. You don't need to know the numbers or the chemistry to feel the wonder of that thought. Somewhere, far from here, an ocean could be breathing. Perhaps it has oceans deep and blue, tides that rise and fall like slow breaths against faraway shores. With every soft inhale, you draw in the vastness of space. With every gentle exhale, you release the weight of time. For understanding, for belonging. The questions we ask of the stars are the questions we ask in our own hearts. Are we alone? Is there somewhere else where life has taken root, where eyes strange or familiar look up at unfamiliar skies and wonder too? You are here on Earth, but your mind is free to wander to sail across the light years without leaving your quiet place. The fragility of oceans, the breath of forests, the pulse of living things, all of it glows brighter when you imagine how rare it might be. Even as we seek reflections of Earth among the stars, we are gently reminded to cherish the one beneath our feet. Perhaps it has winds that carry scents of unseen forests, or skies that blush pink and gold when its star sinks low. Astronomers call these distant worlds exoplanets, planets that orbit stars beyond our own sun. For most of history, the idea of other worlds was only that, an idea, a whispered possibility. But now, in the hush of modern observatories, we have seen them. Here on Earth, every cell, every leaf, every breath depends on it. The oceans of Earth cradle countless lives, from the smallest drifting plankton to the largest blue whales. Could oceans on distant planets do the same? Could some far-off world cradle creatures whose shapes we cannot yet imagine, whose songs drift through waters we've never seen? Thousands upon thousands. Tiny dips in starlight reveal their passing like a moth's shadow flickering across a lantern's glow. Light, dimmed for just a moment, tells us that something is there. You let your mind hover beside one of these worlds. And water, is not just any substance. It is the carrier of life. Astronomers use delicate tools to search for clues. They look for the colors of alien skies, gases that might hint at life. Oxygen, methane. You rest in this thought. The search is not hurried. The universe is vast and unhurried itself. Perhaps this distant planet, this mirror of Earth, has its own moon, casting silver reflections across alien seas. You let your breath match the rhythm of these distant possibilities. And this is part of the mystery. As we search for another Earth, we are also searching for ourselves. In the stillness of this thought, you realize life, even here, is precious beyond measure. The search continues, as it has for generations, and as it will for generations yet to come. You drift, unhurried, through this thought, letting it settle soft as starlight. What would it mean to meet a life not our own? Far above, beyond the thin breath of Earth's atmosphere, you drift through the quiet of cosmic time. Here, there is no rush, no ticking clock, only the slow, unhurried rhythm of the stars, their births, their lives, their graceful endings. You rest in the deep stillness between moments, sensing the vast patience of the universe. They sip their fuel slowly, glowing softly for billions of years, longer than any lifetime you can imagine. Other stars are larger, burning bright and wild, using up their strength in just a few million years before collapsing or exploding in brilliant farewell. In the dark, a glow begins. Faint at first. Whole civilizations could rise and fall beneath the steady gaze of a single star, and yet even stars are not forever. And life too needs time. It grows slowly, carefully, beneath the warmth of gentle suns. A cloud of gas and dust-cold silence starts to stir. Dust gathers into stones, stones into mountains, mountains into planets. Some planets remain barren and silent. Then slowly, so slowly, life branches outward, growing more complex, more curious. It allows time for oceans to rise and fall, for forests to spread and change, for creatures to appear and vanish. Extinctions come and go, stars are born and fade, but always something new begins. It takes time for cells to build bodies, for bodies to awaken minds, for minds to gaze back at the stars. Around it, a disk of dust swirls a planetary nursery. In the soft light, you imagine distant worlds waiting for their own stories to unfold. There's no need to hurry. The universe moves in its own slow rhythm, and you, in this quiet moment, are part of that dance. Somewhere out there, new stories are beginning, born of the same ancient light. But on others, with the right balance of warmth and time, life takes root. What hidden forces shape the galaxies themselves? A newborn sun breathes out its warmth, scattering the darkness that once wrapped it. It offers endless space and endless time, and within that vastness, the fragile beauty of living things can take root. You float beside this infant star, watching as it steadies its glow, its energy flowing outward in a soft, steady stream. The cloud thickens, curls inward. Gravity, gentle but relentless, draws it tighter and tighter until something wondrous happens. A star is born, a first flicker of fusion. A spark, the cold cloud catches fire from within and light spills into the dark. Other hearts will feel wonder. Other voices will whisper questions to the stars, just as you do now. Some stars, like this one, are small and gentle. The cells of your body carry memories written in DNA codes of ancient ancestors, distant and near. Starlight and life are woven together, each depending on the other. Without the stars, no planets. Without planets, no life. Without life, no eyes to see the stars. You too are part of this unfolding story. You too are a brief but precious moment in a long flow of time. You see older stars, glowing red and soft, swollen with age. Some shed their outer layers like petals, their cores cooling into quiet white embers. Others end in a flash of unimaginable brightness, a supernova scattering the elements of life back into space. Time, you notice, moves differently here. The lifetime of a star unfolds on a scale far beyond the human heart. The atoms in your bones, your breath, your beating heart, each one was forged in the heart of an ancient star. Long ago, before Earth was born, before oceans and forests, before eyes first opened to the sky, the elements of life were cast into the galaxy by dying suns. You carry that history inside you always. You drift further, following the gentle pulse of light. And this too is part of the story, life and death written in starlight. You pause here, suspended in thought. Stars need time. Time to gather, to ignite, to shine. In distant corners of the galaxy, worlds form around newborn stars. A single cell. A ripple of molecules that learns how to copy itself. The patience of the cosmos is endless. You drift past a blue-white star, dazzling and young. Perhaps somewhere far from here, other eyes will open under foreign skies. The universe is generous with time. It gives not hours or days, but eons, billions of years for the small miracles of life to take shape. Even here on Earth, time flows gently. The trees outside your window trace the turning seasons. The stars above and the life within you are threads of the same tapestry. And so you rest here in the soft glow of cosmic time, feeling the deep connection between the fires above and the breath within. You close your eyes and let yourself drift, imagining not just Earth, but the many worlds beyond, the countless suns, the uncountable hours. And as you float between stars, between moments, between lifetimes, you sense the gentle whisper of a question: what lies beyond even the stars? What hidden forces shape the galaxies themselves? You're drifting now, slowly, softly, as if weightless in a sea of stars. Around you stretches the deep velvet of space, endless and hushed. The light of distant suns flickers faintly like embers carried on an invisible wind. Between those far-off pinpricks lies the dark, a vast and silent ocean. Somewhere out there, could another mind be looking back? Another heart, another home, another question? In the stillness, you listen. For as long as humans have gazed at the night sky, we have wondered, are we alone? The thought shimmers quietly in you now. You imagine your own voice, soft and small, carried outward in gentle ripples, brushing past stars, skimming over unseen worlds. It is the act of listening, of wondering, of reaching quietly into the unknown. This is how we listen, not only with ears, but with hope. Its wide metal dish gathers whispers from the sky, one fragile wave at a time. It listens to nothing, and in that nothing holds infinite possibility. Like messages in bottles cast into a cosmic sea, They drift for years, decades, centuries. Radio waves, the gentle pulse of light, the bear's fingerprints of presence. Somewhere across unimaginable distances, faint signals may be traveling. Some lights travel for ages before they find new eyes. Even if no reply comes tonight or in 1,000 nights, still you listen. You and the stars, the question and the waiting. The listening, scientists call it the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, esse. But here, in this gentle moment, it feels simpler. And still we listen, still we hope, looking upward, listening inward, dreaming of voices not yet heard, full of the breath of waiting worlds, the pulse of time itself stretched thin. Even the silence carries meaning, not in this universe that hums softly with light and shadow, question and quiet. You imagine an old radio telescope standing silent under the night, not with urgency, not with noise, but with the same patient curiosity. The way it holds space for something it cannot yet see, not as something sharp or hurried, but as something smooth and endless, a lake of stillness where the mind can float. The idea that even in distance there is togetherness, even in silence, a whisper of belonging, a gentle "are you there?" stretched thin across the stars. Still, you send your gentle ripple outward. Perhaps somewhere another civilization sends out its own signal. In this vastness, time moves differently. A signal sent from a distant world might take hundreds, thousands, even millions of years to arrive. The universe is wide, the distances are deep. But even here, in this cosmic dark, there is a quiet intimacy. You feel the rhythm of it, the rise and fall of quiet attention, the way the heart opens when it listens. For not every message is meant to be heard immediately. Some words take time to cross the sea. The signals traveling do not race. Time here moves like honey, thick and slow, and you are carried by it gently. And so you drift, patient and gentle, part of this long conversation. Because listening itself is an act of connection. The quiet between stars is not empty. It is full of possibility. In this darkness, you feel your own heartbeat, soft, steady, a signal all its own. Imagine, on some distant planet, under a foreign sky, someone else might be wondering too. The thought wraps around you like a blanket. You are not truly alone. Not in this moment. The signals we send are more than just science. They are stories, songs, fragments of what it means to be alive, to wonder, to reach beyond. And though the vastness may seem overwhelming, though the dark may stretch farther than the mind can hold still, you are part of it. Each listening ear, each curious heart, each soft breath held in the dark is part of this grand experiment, the longing to know and to be known. Tonight you rest in that longing. The stars above do not rush. Even in silence, there is something beautiful. Even in the not knowing, there is warmth. You listen. You wait. You dream. And as you drift in this quiet sea, your thoughts begin to wonder. What else lies hidden in the dark, waiting to be seen? What other mysteries call softly, just beyond the edge of knowing? The next journey is waiting, just beyond the horizon of your thoughts. The journey has been long, but gentle. Tonight, you return. Not with hurried steps or heavy thoughts, but with the slow, drifting calm that only starlight can bring. And somewhere deep within, you carry a gentle knowing that the universe is far wider, far more mysterious than you once imagined. You are here, back on the soft ground of Earth, and yet something inside you still floats, weightless, remembering the quiet paths among distant stars. Countless pinpoints of light, each one a distant sun, each one a story unfolding in the dark. Somewhere out there, worlds spin. Worlds not yet seen, worlds not yet touched. Planets too small, too far, too quiet for even our sharpest telescopes to find. Your eyes close, your breath softens. Above you, the night sky spreads in stillness. No one knows for sure. But the search continues, gentle and patient, like the rise and fall of your breath. They look not for the planets themselves, too small, too dim, but for shadows. For tiny flickers of light as a planet crosses in front of its star, a world slightly larger than Earth, circling a cool red star. A gas giant heavier than Jupiter, tracing a blistering path close to its sun. A planet of diamond, perhaps? A planet of ice? A world shrouded in clouds, hiding whatever lies beneath? A brief, delicate dimming like the soft blink of an eye. I exist. Astronomers call them exoplanets, planets orbiting stars beyond our sun. Thousands have been found. Tens of thousands more await discovery, perhaps millions. Some may circle quietly in the habitable zone, that delicate band of distance where liquid water could exist, where life, at least life as we know it, might take hold. We can listen for the faint signals they send in shadows, in light, in gravitational tugs on faraway stars. But they are there, not in grand gestures, but in tiny, persistent steps. A spark, a cell, a breath, to ask, what is life? What is home? What is rare? What is precious? Stars live and die. Planets are born, shaped, reshaped. Some worlds collide, shattered into debris. Some are swallowed by their stars, lost forever. But some survive. Some endure, some perhaps awaken. How it orbits in just the right place, with just the right balance, beneath a star neither too quiet nor too fierce. A place where oceans can rise and fall, where air can cradle breath, where life can stretch and grow and dream. But each one teaches us something new, not just about the cosmos, but about this small blue world beneath your feet. Just as you can sense the presence of the sea without seeing every wave, you can feel these hidden worlds in the soft shimmer of the stars. Each exoplanet circles its own star, its own source of warmth and light. That the universe, wide and weightless, always holds more than we can see. The stories they hold are still unwritten. The worlds they cradle are still unseen. But they are there, quietly circling, waiting to be known. Some orbit in close, dizzying loops, so near their stars that their skies blaze with permanent dawn. Some wander far, tracing slow, cold paths where light is only a memory. Telescopes in orbit, radio dishes on distant plains, computers sifting starlight for patterns too subtle for the eye to see. The search for exoplanets is the search for connection. A search not just for other worlds, but for the shape of possibility itself. And somewhere, perhaps, there are worlds like ours. Not identical, but familiar in some way, places where water might glisten, where winds might sigh across quiet hills, where something might stir beneath distant skies. You drift alongside this search, unhurried. Imagine the telescopes, wide-eyed and silent, turning their gaze toward distant suns. This is how many exoplanets are found, by their shadows. And in those faint shadows, stories unfold. Each discovery is like a whisper from the dark. I am here. You rest in this gentle thought. The idea that the universe is filled not just with stars, but with homes, with places, with possibilities. Some exoplanets may orbit two stars, like the twin suns of science fiction dreams. Some may spin alone, their stars long gone cold. And though we cannot yet touch these worlds, though they remain beyond the reach of our fastest ships, we can imagine them. You let your mind drift further, feeling the slow rhythm of cosmic time. It is this quiet hope that moves the search forward, the idea that somewhere, in the gentle vastness of the cosmos, life may rise. Perhaps even minds, one day, looking up at their own skies and wondering, are we alone? The thought is soft, soothing. You drift within it, weightless. Here on Earth, our instruments grow sharper, our ears stretch wider. In the search, you find something familiar, because to look for distant worlds is, in a way, to look for ourselves. You breathe softly. The night holds you gently. Most of the planets we find are not like Earth. They are strange, surprising, wild. You begin to sense how rare Earth is, How delicate, and yet Earth is not the center of everything. It is one shore among countless others in the vast ocean of the cosmos. This thought is not frightening. It is freeing. It is humbling. You are part of something wide, something open, something ongoing. As you drift toward sleep, the stars above seem softer now. The journey continues, gently, patiently, and somewhere, just beyond the reach of sight, new worlds turn in silence. And so you rest, breathing in the quiet certainty that discovery never ends. And perhaps, just perhaps beyond these distant suns lies something even stranger, not just other worlds, but other ways of being, other kinds of life, other forms of wonder. But that is a story for another night. And for now you drift, still calm wondering.